Hello everybody, welcome to yukicooks. Today's recipe is chickencheeseburstpizza. But before we start our recipe, I want to ask a question to you. Tell me honestly, how many of you are spending more than £100 or 10,000 rupees in a year on pizza alone? Please answer in the comment section. Now let's start our recipe. We'll be taking 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. To that we'll be adding 1 teaspoon of salt. Remember always to mix your salt in the flour before the yeast comes. Always remember that yeast and salt should never be mixed. Now let's add half a teaspoon of baking soda. Now add 1 tablespoon of gluten. If you don't have gluten, you can use a tablespoon of olive oil. Now let's add yeast. It's around 7 grams of yeast. Mix everything together very nicely, and after that we'll start the kneading process. Use as much water as required to make the dough consistency like I'm making. I'm using around 1 cup of water. I won't be using any milk today since I'm using lukewarm water. My kneading time is going to be properly like shorter. This. If you're not using gluten, you'll just have to knead it for a little bit more longer period of time. The kneading process is like this. You push it forward and bring it back. Use the bottom of your palm and you push it forward and bring it back. Now put a little bit of water on the top and we'll cover it with a cloth and keep it for 2 to 4 hours. The time depends on the weather of your country. If you're living in a cold country, you'll have to keep it for a bit longer period of time. And if you're living in a tropical country with warm weather, then 2 hours will be more than enough. Sprinkle some flour on the board and just do the back and forth motion. Here you are. It's done. After that, we'll make it into a circle, a disc, like this. Use a rolling pin. It'll be much easier. Here you are. I've made quite a round shape. I don't know why people are buying pizzas. It's so easy to make and it's so cheap. Now since this is a double burst pizza, first we'll add cheese to it. I'm using mozzarella cheese. You just close all the ends like this, and again you make it into a circle, and after that we'll roll it again and we'll make it into a disc. Do not forget to sprinkle flour. You don't want our disc to be sticking. Here you are. Flatten it with your hands, and after that you can use the rolling pin. It's very easy and it's very cheap. I don't know why we've been buying pizza since so long. It's so easy to make. See? We are literally making rotis and breads literally every day, practically every day. And still we are buying pizza. Now let's put it into the pizza pan. I have this kind of pizza pan. If you don't have it, no problem. You can use any pan you want to. Here you are. This is a 9-inch pan. Brush some olive oil. It will be much more easier. It will be soft and moist. It won't be hard. Now I'm adding some sauce to it. You can use any sauce you want to. It doesn't matter. Apply the sauce evenly all over. Make sure to cover the sides also so that the sides don't become dry. Before we start topping our pizza, I just want to remind you with some small details. Like for example, whenever you're using bell pepper or capsicums, always remove the white fleshy part like this. Okay? Because this will make your pizza a little bit bitter. These are the small details which will help you to make a professional pizza. Now let's add cheese. I'm adding loads and loads of mozzarella cheese. Why not? After all, it's a double burst pizza. So now let's add some onions. You can use any topping you want to. Bell peppers. I'm using red and yellow both bell peppers. Now let's add a few chopped green chilies for the extra added punch. A few slices of tomatoes, spread it out. After that, I'll be adding some black olives. Now do you see that pizza is the easiest recipe to make? It's even easier than making parathas. The best thing about pizza is that you can use any topping you want to, and it will be equally delicious. I had some leftover chicken from last night, so I'm going to add this also. Just add a few pieces here and there. And yeah, look at it. The best pizza in the world. Drizzle some olive oil over it. Just remember, you always have to use olive oil in a pizza. I'm adding some oregano. You cannot use any other oil. Some chili flakes. Now let's start baking it in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. There you are, it's done. Imagine we've been spending so much money on pizza alone. So save your money and use it on something useful. I hope you like this recipe. Thumbs up if you like the recipe. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching. See you later in another beautiful recipe.